think up?
International affairs, security, stuff like this. I work on Europe mostly, but we do a whole range of things. We're not very happy with this guy.
Well, I would considering coming from a globalist think tank looking to destroy sovereign nations, you wouldn't like Trump at all.
Oh, that's the spirit.
You know?
More Marco Rubio.
But aren't basically the group you work for, the think tanks in Washington, aren't they mostly all connected through the CFR, Trilateral Commission, and thence by direct connection to the Bank of International Settlements, the Bilderberg Group, and the world criminal elites?
CFR is competition for us. We're not, they're just another think tank.
Yeah, another think tank of globalists trying to see how you're going to split up this world into a one world government and who's going to be able to take control of it. I have no faith whatsoever in the think tanks that you're talking about have anything in common with anything but their own elitists, and don't give a damn about the population of this world. They're pretty much doing everything they can to eliminate it.
But who's the world government? Like who's behind all this?
Are you familiar with the Bilderberg Group?
Yeah, it's just a meeting group.
Oh, just a meeting group. Meets behind layers and layers of security who don't let out their policies, which our government officials go to and meet, breaking the law that states they're not allowed to meet to formulate policy with foreign entities. So again, these secret societies, secret or semi-secret think tanks that are funded by mainly the industrialists, the bankers, these are the people you work for. Again, I don't see them doing anything for the people. I see you working for the criminal organizations that look to formulate a one world government. I want to know what you have to say about that.
I mean, what if the world government is the United States? I mean, we work to formulate foreign policy for the United States. Bilderberg
Yeah, which is what? Again, formulated through the banksters that have taken us over. That we are now what? Got 700 foreign bases around the world. We're an imperialistic nation. We go ahead and force our democracy at the point of a gun for the benefit of the major corporations, again, which fund the think tanks that you work for. So it's all about keeping the corporations, the elites, up there and the people down. That's your policies. That's what you formulate. I want you to be able to defend the one world governments that your think tanks are perpetuating.
No one's advocating for one world government. So
really? How do you feel about the Trans-Pacific Partnership?
It's a real estate billionaire from New York who's going to save you from this?
Oh no, and not any one person is going to save us from it. But you are going to have people that will come up and point out the criminals that are within our governments that are associated with the elites of the world to destroy sovereign nations. I mean, obviously in your position, you read Huntington's Clash of Civilizations. You must know that that's the formula. You must know that if you read Carol Quigley's Tragedy and Hope, that's the formula, that you're working for the globalists, that you take money, blood money from the globalists to go ahead and perpetuate their one world governments.
So why do foreign governments and foreign elites hate so much the people in Washington, D.C. because they say they're defending the American national interests? Why are they fighting so tooth and nail on TTIP, for example, to defend their interests because they think that we are defending the U.S. interest?
What's U.S. interest? What are the U.S. interests?
What are the U.S. interests? What do you think are the U.S. interests?
Multinational corporations.
No, what should be the U.S. interest?
The people.
All right. And you think
we should be taking care of ourselves.
All right. And so the richest country on earth with the most powerful military, with the highest growth rates in a row in the Western world in history, like you think you're doing I think you live in a pretty good country. You know. You
Oh,
shouldn't hate your,
I think we're doing a fabulous.
You
I
shouldn't
think we're
hate
the
your
best in
country's-
the world. But I don't
Well, why
think
do you
I.
hate your country so much?
I don't hate it. I want to improve it.
Yeah.
I hate the criminals within it that are trying to destroy it. I look upon you as being one of those criminals.
So-
I look upon you and the think tanks that are there
Alright.
that are not doing anything that I can see
So who do you want to
constructive.
look like? Which country do you want to look like?
Oh, I think we ought to look like the United States we had before 1913, before the Federal Reserve Bank came into existence, before the banksters got their tentacles in us and started taking us over.
So no vote for women? What about civil rights?
You see, that's what I love about they always take it to the extremes. No,
You
No,
say
it's not
before
about
1913, so I'm just
yeah,
asking
but I'm
a
talking
question.
about the finances, the things that took over our government.
How do you feel about civil rights?
I'm basically a libertarian. I think everybody ought to, be treated equally.
Well, libertarian, but libertarian in terms of that should be devolved to the states, or libertarian in terms
Oh,
of
I think
should be
I think we
enforced by
should
the federal
absolutely divide it back to the states. I think that that indeed the decentralization of any government is healthier for the people. The more centralized government you have, the less freedom you have. That is a proven fact throughout history.
All right, that's interesting. So more decentralization to the states. That means that Louisiana, for example, could come back to segregation. Would that
I
be
don't
fine?
think that would happen. You got to look.
But if they
That's
want it to happen.
But that's
But
Let it happen?
I don't think that is even possible in the sense that we have, as we have throughout time, we evolve, even though we still have one foot in the cave and we're basically barbaric, our consciousness is raised every generation. We gain something. There's some knowledge. There is a lot less,
You sound like Obama, being very progressive.
there's a lot less hate, let's say, or segregation or any of that than there was 50 years ago.
And you don't think it's linked to centralization, to more freedom that was brought by decisions, the Supreme Court, the federal government, people
I think
going to
these
Washington,
movements
getting
happen
involved?
organically. I think they happen naturally. We've been fighting slavery for a long time. Matter of fact, we pioneered England and the Americas. We didn't invent slavery. We went ahead and defeated it. We're the ones that brought at the end to slavery. We're the champions of it. As a matter of fact, there's more slavery now in the world than there ever has been before, but it's not here. It's still in Africa. It's still in the Muslim nation. So, we have the biggest sex trade slavery going on right now than ever before. So, yeah, we've got problems, but we fix them. But that doesn't mean that the criminals that persist, that are around, don't take advantage of the freedoms that we have to rise to the top
So you
and
think
start
before-
using the best things we have against us.
So before 1913, there were no corporations in the United States. You never heard of Carnegie
We're not
and
talking,
Rockefeller.
again,
Never heard of Theodore Roosevelt fighting.
yes, and we've dealt with those things by breaking up monopolies, which really didn't do that.
So are you
I mean-
against the Department of Commerce? Which was created by Roosevelt to fight against the monopolies. That was centralization. People like you hated it at the time. So let's go back. It's not 1913. You wanna
Again,
go back
we don't
before.
have,
1860?
it's not like, they just passed 400 laws recently. 400 laws. I doubt most people even know what the hell they are. Why? I mean, it's not like we haven't had laws on the books. All you have to do is enforce them, but they're not. They're selectively enforced.
So I
So
can
that's
hear,
why we have crony capitalism and not capitalism.
let's look. So I can hear the corner that I think the is pretty cool. I think people are very free, it's very prosperous, it's diverse, it's dynamic, it's constantly. You seem to really hate it. You hate its elite and its president. So I'm just curious. So because you're here with the American
Again,
flag.
you're making assumes.
You have
I do
50
not hate America.
you have-
I'm
you
out
have-
here dressed as America.
Well, no,
for crying out
because
loud.
you have 50 stars here. That's actually you have, you are you gonna come back to 13 colonies? Like, what's the time you're looking for? What's the America you like? Because you're asking
We
me
don't
to defend
have
the
to
country, which is kind of an
reinvent the
awkward
wheel.
position. Okay.
The Constitution is a very solid document to go on. The fact that now it is being ignored, usurped, trashed, is what upsets we're looking at two sets of rules here right now. We have a woman running for president by all rights should be in jail. I mean, there was a time in this country when the hint of scandal would end your career, political career. Hell, we got the one running now that is surrounded by
So
scandal.
the bankruptcy of Trump, you should be in jail too.
For what?
For bankruptcy.
For what?
Bankruptcy?
Bankruptcy don't put you in jail. That's a business. You know, it's business.
Well, when you defraud your investors and
Where's that been proven?
stockholders, well, same thing for Hillary. There is an investigation deciding not to pursue the indictment.
Again, this system is corrupt. So you're betting on the corrupt system that lets off a corrupt person, and you're saying that's okay. As again, you are morally bankrupt. You do not see it because you're in it.
All right, and so
You are morally bankrupt from your shoes to the hair on your head. And because of that, you cannot see the immorality of your own actions and what you just said. The system is corrupt.
and so you're
That's
gonna,
why it didn't indict
so
her.
you're going to vote for the guy who's corrupting the system? Who
How's he
actually-
corrupting the system? He's the one pointing it out corrupt. He just came out and says, look, Sanders blatantly had the nomination stolen from him.
How so?
Do you have eyes in your head? Apparently you cannot see with them. He could fill up stadiums full of 30,000 people. She struggled to get 300. You could go on the streets outside the Democratic National Convention. You could not find a Hillary person. They were all burning. So with your own eyes, you tell me how the thousands of people out on the street in the auditoriums that went and won 11 straight states.
Did she
How did she win with him winning 11 straight states? One. There you go
How
again.
did she do it?
It's called superdelegates, buddy. It's called corruption.
No, even without the super delegates, she has more delegates.
Again, it's called corruption. Our election cycle is corrupted.
So wait. How did she get more delegates? Because super delegates, I agree with you. Actually.
She had
How did
more
she get-
delegates before one cast was voted.
No, you're
She had
talking about
15% of the delegates.
No, you're confusing super delegates and delegates.
California, they met the night before the damn election. I said, this is who's going to win. We're giving this many delegates to Clinton. She wins. The night before.
Once again, they think you're confusing your facts. You're confusing super delegates and delegates. She did win the super delegates, but she won an absolute majority among the delegates as well. She would have won without the super delegates.
11 states have proven election.
How many?
11 states proven election. I mean, I don't know why you're sticking up with it. Well, maybe I do, because you're morally bankrupt. You're sticking up for a complete criminal. A woman has put our nation at risk. You had Comey come along for 12 minutes, give a dissertation on how this woman broke all these different laws, and at the very last minute goes, but we're not going to do anything to her, but don't you try. Pretty much saying, right to your face, there's two sets of laws, one for you, where you're going to get punished if you do it, and one for her, where she gets off. And we're supposed to sit around and take that. And then Washington, then the emails come out, proving that the damn thing was rigged. In your face, red, white, black and white right here. Sanders was handed that information, and what does he do? Stabs all his followers in the back by not even bringing it up. So here you had direct evidence that the damn nomination was stolen. Right? Washington Schultz had to resign. You have 3 more top Democratic operatives that resigned. But corruption there, nothing to see. No, not in your immoral world. Not the morally bankrupt, corrupt world you come from.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I think we live in a pretty nice country. It does need to be improved in many ways, like any country, but I think you should be more positive of where your country is, honestly.
Oh, I am. I'm not positive that this man's going to get elected and he's going to crush you and your ilk. Because, yeah, your ilk, the globalists, the ones who want to go ahead and destroy sovereignty, go ahead and basically working for the corporations who want to form a one-world government. And then the real killing would start.
Killing.
Oh, absolutely. The whole thing is, the whole end game is about killing us. That is the end game. They want to eliminate it. Or again, probably you haven't read Carol Quigley's tragedy, or Clash of Civilization, or maybe the book that our Holdren, our alleged science czar, wrote in 1980, Eco-Science, that states that 80% of the population of the world must be killed. That's our own science czar that said that.
So
How about the Georgia Guidestones? Are you familiar with them? Didn't think you were. Look at the Georgia Guidestones in Alberton, Georgia. Are you familiar with them? Oh yeah, a man by the name of R.C. Christian walked into the Elvin Granite Factory in 1974 and said, I represent the most powerful people in the world. Here's what I want built. I want a monolith built with the 10 directives of the future of mankind. It's still there. It's called the American Stonehenge, and in 8 different languages, and slabs 20 foot tall. This is the #1 directive. Maintain the world's population at no more than 500 million in accordance with nature. Well, there are a little over 7 billion people on the planet right now. So that means a little over 6.5 billion of us have to go bye-bye, find somewhere else to live, according to the elites that he works for. And how are they going to do it? Well, the old-fashioned way, war, starvation, but now they got great new ways. Genetically modified organisms and vaccines. Another great thing that the think tanks think up. And all the non-GOs go around and just, we're here to help, stick out your arm. And all of a sudden cancer rates explode, autism rates explode, and we start dying like flies. Go read something and learn something. Maybe you'll find your soul.